I was 19, in my second year of college, living in one of those old off-campus apartments that always smelled faintly of mildew no matter how much you cleaned. My days were usually packed with classes, work-study, and late-night study sessions in the library. One night, after cramming for an exam, I finally left the library around 11 p.m. The campus was nearly empty, eerily quiet, the only sounds the distant hum of the highway and the hiss of a lone street lamp struggling to stay lit. As I stepped into the cool night air, I noticed a vehicle parked near the edge of the lot. A cargo van, no windows. The kind of van parents always warn you about when you're a kid. It had no company logo, no license plate light, just flat, matte black paint that seemed to swallow the light around it. I told myself it was nothing, just someone parked, maybe a maintenance worker, maybe even another student. But when I started walking, I couldn't shake the feeling that the van's presence was wrong. Too still, too quiet. I turned down the first block, adjusting my backpack and quickening my pace. That's when I heard it, the low rumble of an engine firing up. My heart skipped. Slowly, the van rolled out of its spot and pulled onto the same street behind me. I told myself I was overreacting. Coincidences happen. But as I kept walking, so did it. Every corner I rounded, the van turned too. Every time I glanced back, its headlights were there, trailing me like a predator that didn't care if I noticed. The hair on my arms stood up. My chest tightened. I tried to reason with myself. Maybe they live down this street. Maybe they're just headed home. But deep down, I already knew. Something wasn't right. When I reached a four-way intersection, I decided to test it. I didn't think. I just acted. I cut across the street without warning, almost jogging. The van swerved immediately following. Its headlights blasted across me, washing me in white light like a spotlight. My stomach dropped. That was no coincidence. I sped up, nearly breaking into a jog. My sneakers slapped against the pavement, each step sounding far too loud in the silence of the street. The van crept closer until it was right beside me. The passenger door creaked open with a long metallic groan. Inside, I couldn't see details, just a dark silhouette. A figure sitting in the shadows, perfectly still, as if it had been waiting all along. A low voice called out, slow and deliberate. "Need a ride?" Every muscle in my body tensed, my chest seized. My instincts screamed at me, and I bolted. I sprinted down the block, lungs burning, legs pumping as hard as they could. I darted between parked cars, then cut across someone's lawn, hoping to lose it. But the van roared, its engine snarling as it swerved into the side streets, circling to cut me off. My mind raced with panic. Where can I go? Where can I hide? I turned sharply into a narrow alley, heart hammering against my ribs. The van's headlights swung around the corner, flooding the alley walls in harsh light. The sound of gravel crunching under its tires echoed like thunder in the silence. There was nowhere to go. A fence loomed at the end of the alley, too high to climb in a panic. I pressed myself against a garbage bin, crouching low, trying to disappear into the shadows. My breath came in short, sharp gasps. I tried desperately to quiet. The van stopped. Its engine rumbled, idling, vibrating through the ground beneath me. The passenger door creaked open again. Footsteps, slow, crunching on gravel, steady, getting closer. I squeezed my eyes shut, biting my lip until I tasted blood, praying, "Please, please, please keep walking." The footsteps stopped right beside the garbage bin. Whoever it was standing directly next to me. With trembling hands, I fumbled for my phone in my pocket, nearly dropping it. Somehow, I managed to dial 911. My voice was barely a whisper when the dispatcher answered. Hello? Someone's following me. They're trying to... Please, I'm in the alley off... The crunch of gravel shifted. The footsteps leaned closer. I froze, holding my breath. The phone pressed so tightly to my ear I thought it might crack. The dispatcher was asking questions, but I couldn't answer. I was paralyzed by the sound of breathing. Shallow, steady, right above me. A shadow fell across the bin. A hand reached over the edge, pale and rough, like it was about to grab me. And then, red and blue lights cut through the night. Sirens wailed, bouncing off the alley walls. The van's engine roared to life. The figure yanked backward into the vehicle. Tires screeched, rubber burning as the van peeled out of the alley, disappearing into the night. I collapsed against the garbage bin, sobbing, clutching my phone. Within seconds, 2 officers were at my side, their flashlights cutting through the dark. I told them everything in a frantic rush, my words tumbling out between gasps. They never found the van. They never found whoever was inside. The police told me vans like that, windowless, unmarked, are often connected to abductions, trafficking, or worse. That night, I realized how close I came to disappearing. If I hadn't called when I did, if the patrol car hadn't been so close, I might never have come home. Now, years later, I still can't walk at night without glancing over my shoulder. Every time I see a cargo van, especially one with no windows, my stomach knots. My chest tightens, and I cross the street without thinking, because I'll never forget the sound of that voice. Need a ride? And I'll never forget how close I came to being dragged into the van with no windows.
Thanks for watching, but the nightmares don't stop here. Tap the next story if you dare, and don't forget to subscribe to Nightroot, where true horror runs deep.